This is a first look at the brand new Bose A30 Aviation Headset, answering your questions about features, price, noise cancelling, comfort, and should you actually buy them. As usual, we're going to do this Q&A style. So the first question you asked me, what are the key differences with the A20? Everything on the new A30s has been completely redesigned. The only thing that's consistent with the A20 are the ear cushions. Start from the top and work my way down. The first thing that's been changed, completely re-engineered, is the headband itself. One key thing I noticed straight off the bat is what's called the clamping force. The force of the headset actually pushing against your head is a lot less, or it feels a lot less, than the original A20s. There's a bigger gap at the top of the hinge here on the A30s compared to the original A20. The other thing you'll notice is the cushions, you can see they've been redesigned. They're the sort of fuzzy, furry ones here on the A20s. On the new A30s, it's more this kind of padded cushion. So it doesn't get as, this kind of gets a little bit grubby after a while, after it's been sitting on top of your head. I haven't used these for very long, admittedly, but I think these padded cushions might actually work a bit better than the fuzzy ones on the old A20s. On the A20s, you had these cables that came out between the ear cup and up the arm off the actual headset itself. As you can see on the A30s, that's all internal now within the headset itself, which makes it a lot neater, and there's less chance of you actually catching this little cord on something in the cockpit when you're lifting your headset up and down when you're putting it on and taking it off. The A30s have this little L and little R, the old A20s. And Bose have said that one of the key design changes between the two is that they've actually put the center of gravity lower down, so the weight of the headset actually sits lower down on your head, so there's less neck strain over a long period of time. The theory is for longer flights, a little bit less neck fatigue because that weight isn't sitting on the top of your head. Okay, next question. Are they comfy? Yes. Now with those design changes I was just talking about, they help it obviously feel more comfortable, but you can feel less clamping force on your head with these compared to the A20s. They don't necessarily feel lighter. In fact, I don't think there's a weight difference between these and the A20s. For the limited use I've had of these, and I haven't been on a long flight admittedly, they do feel comfier. Maybe it's because they're new as well. Noise cancellation then. Is the noise cancellation better than the A20s? Well, the A20s had analog noise cancellation. The A30s use digital. The control unit for the A30s, you've got this new switch here where you've got 3 levels of noise cancellation: low, medium. The thought being that high is going to be used for pistons and helicopters, medium is going to be used for things like turboprops, quieter jets, and low is just a low setting that you can use maybe when you're on the ground and you just want to cut out some of the ambient noise, but not all of it. I wish I could cut this noise out. Because it's digital noise cancellation, it's supposed to be better at reducing some of those lower frequencies. So the overall noise cancellation, it's not less noisy than the A20s, but it's smarter at cutting out the frequencies that you don't want to be hearing. I've got to be honest, as a pilot, you don't really want like full noise cancellation. You often want to be able to hear what the engine's doing at any time. And I think if you had like complete noise cancellation in the cockpit, that would actually be a bad thing. Is the length of the wire to from the controller the same as the A20s? I haven't checked that. It's longer. All right, can the headset finally be charged from the plane, i.e. no battery? Well, exactly the same as with the A20s, there's the option of 2 different plugs to attach the headset to your aircraft. This is what I use. This is what's called the LEMO plug. And if you have active noise cancellation in your aircraft like we do in the Cirrus, this actually powers the headset, so you don't need batteries. But if you just fit the general aviation or the 2-pin plug on the end, then you still put batteries in the same way as you do with the A20s, and that's what powers your noise cancellation. So you have the option of both. Okay, where did you get it from? Is this the beginning of the long-awaited sponsorship from Bose? Are you officially sponsored by Bose now? No, I wish. This is a demo pair that they sent to me, which I'm going to send back to them. They asked me if I wanted to test it. I wanted to make this video because I know that you guys are interested in this headset and I thought this would be useful for you. That is why I'm making this video. I'm not sponsored by Bose. But Bose, if you want to, my email address is info@... Okay, price difference. Starting with the Australian Bose website, if you go into aviation headsets, you'll find the brand new A30s there, and a new set will cost you $1,969.95. If you switch across to the US website, you'll then find A30s for $1,249 US. And if you switch to the UK website, once you go past all the cookie stuff that you have to accept being a UK website, a new set of A30s costs £1,219.95. Lots of you asking this one then. Give me a reason to buy this one if I already have an A20. Are they good? Are they worth an upgrade? Basically, if you have, where are they? If you have an existing pair of Bose A20s, should you pay the money and upgrade to the new A30s? Well, the answer is the same with any technology. If your old one is wearing out, or if you want the new functionality of the new one, or if you want to keep your old one and have a new one as a backup, then yes, upgrade and buy the A30s. If, however, you have a pair of A20s and they're working fine, maybe they're not that old and maybe you don't need a spare, you don't need a backup, and you don't really want the new functionality or the comfort changes of the A30s, then no, don't upgrade. Save your money, spend it on fuel. A quick honest story, I was at the Avalon Air Show recently and I was going to buy a brand new pair of A20s because these are fairly old. I've had these for about 6 or 7 years, but I also wanted to have a spare pair for my passengers when I fly with my daughter, but also as a backup just in case these fail. At the moment, this is my backup pair and this is what I make passengers wear. This is my original set of David Clark's. This is what I learned to fly in, 15, 16 years ago. They're starting to crackle a little bit. Sometimes the microphone doesn't work. The ear cups are getting a bit manky. So these have lasted me a long time, but I no longer want these as my backup headset. So I would have bought another pair of A20s, but now that these are out, obviously for me, I'm going to keep these as my backup and probably use something like the A30s as a primary. Now, of course, if you have an existing pair of A20s, the other thing you can do, you can sell them. So you can sell your old A20s online and use that money to fund the new A30s. A couple of other cool features. Let me show you this. On the A20s, you see the control unit here. What they've done with the A30 is they've actually added this little hook to the top of it. Now that might seem like a small thing, but if you're wandering around the airport, say you're doing a ground inspection of the aircraft and you want to keep your headset around your neck, if you're a bit of a nerd like me and you carry your keys on a carabiner like this, hook the controlling unit onto that same hook and you can walk around the aircraft with your headset still around your neck and without having to either hold the control unit physically in your hand or worse still, just let it drag along the floor behind you. The other thing I really like, have you ever tried swapping out, which one's that? That's the new one. Have you ever tried swapping out the microphone? Inside there's a very small screw. There's one on the other side as well. You have to basically unscrew those, take the unit off, put it on the other side, screw it back in. There's a bit of a risk by doing all of that you can actually over tighten those screws and crack the ear cup itself. With the A30s, there's a little switch that you pop open on either side and then simply remove the microphone from one side, open up the spacer unit on the other side, put your microphone back in here, snap it into place, close the clips, put the little spacer back in on the other side, and in the space of a couple of seconds, you've swapped the mic over. Does it come in milkshake pattern? No, and I just think that's a tremendous fail on the part of Bose. Couple of questions along the same sort of lines. How do normal people get free stuff to unbox and keep? In my case, it's come from having a channel which I set up back in 2016, making something like 500, 600 videos, which hopefully have entertained you and shown you products like this. It's come from a lot of hard work over time. Now, you don't have to do that. If you want to get yourself a pair of these A30s, you can obviously go out to the shops and buy them yourself. So please don't think YouTubers like me or the other guys out there who've got their hands on these sorts of headsets, this hasn't fallen in our laps. We've worked hard for it, as have you for the money that you have. So how you decide to spend that is up to you. But for me, I'm very proud of the fact that I can work with companies like Bose and show off their products to people like yourself. Okay, sorry, I didn't want that to sound too lectury. I get that question sometimes and I wanted to address it. Oh, I can't fit through there. Oh, I'm gonna do some in-flight testing of these Bose A30s, but if you wanna know anything else, if you've got any other questions, let me know in the comments down below. I'll jump in and try and answer as many of your questions as I can about these cool new Bose A30s.